As a devoted father, I spend a lot of time seeking examples of the man that I hope to be for my children. Of course, I want to be loving, kind, caring, intelligent, and strong. But the one that I struggle the most with is being brave. Before having a family, not much scared me. Not much could hold me back, but the moment my baby girl came into this world was the moment that I had everything to lose. My son's arrival simply doubled that reality, and now I find myself struggling to hold it together sometimes. In their presence, I put on a brave face and jump into the fray so that they know that their dad will always be their guide to protect them. But at night, when I have moments to myself and my thoughts, I worry that my bravery, it won't be enough to protect them from the world that has a tendency to beat most people down. To help push these intrusive thoughts away, I actively sought out examples of people who possessed undeniable bravery. I hoped to find some sort of hidden truth to their strengths, and I managed to borrow quite a few tidbits to help ease my anxiety. Then, on one very important day, I challenged myself to listen to 3 hours of Robert F. Kennedy on various podcasts. Up until that point, I had only been subject to the incendiary headlines from various media outlets, and I admit I didn't have a very favorable opinion as a result. But I was feeling disillusioned at my other options for the upcoming election, and I figured I ought to seek out other ways to use my vote. The journey started slowly, but when he started to talk about his passions for the American family, my ears perked up. His concerns that young people cannot buy homes and thus cannot start their journey towards the American dream really spoke to me. The idea that one job once supported an entire family with extra left over for vacations and splurges, really? Why isn't the world like that anymore? The fact that our children are suffering from diseases that were once as plentiful as unicorns in the past, really, why isn't our world like that anymore? That our water and soil suffers from man-made pollution that need not be there. And the idea that pharmaceutical companies and the healthcare industry might not have our best interests at heart. Hard to believe, right? All of these things resonated in me, and they're all some things that I had been contemplating at night, the things that made me feel less brave, the things that made me feel like I could not help my children. These are things that we need help with on a big global level. The things that made me scared and nervous that I wouldn't be able to protect my children from. That is what matters. There's a lot in this world that I have very little chance at directly impacting myself, and that's when we need a collective leader to put all of our nervousness, to put all of our anxiety into one big basket and say, I will tackle this problem for you. Immediately, the thought of having a leader who shared so many of the quiet thoughts that I'd hid from the world as my potential future president, well, that had me feeling electric. This man could help me find my bravery. He was willing to fight for my family on a global scale, and that's exactly the kind of support that I needed. Then, on a somber note, the conversation switched to his father and his uncle, who'd been so heinously taken from this world by nefarious characters, and the fact that RFK Jr. himself was struggling in his own efforts to obtain what nearly anyone would consider a sensible security detail. It was in that moment that I realized how truly brave RFK Jr. is. He has a legacy of tragedy that formed his entire life. And while he was out there fighting for a better future for my children, he was always putting himself in harm's way. If the figures of his past are any type of evidence, Bobby Kennedy was bravely making the choice to laugh in the face of danger and brazenly push forward in his vision for a better tomorrow. It was in that moment that I realized my preconceived notions assembled by the media were completely off base. The man cares and is willing to fight for every American family. When I think of a world that my kids could inherit with RFK Jr.'s impact in the leadership role, I find that it helps me obtain a quieting of my thoughts. It helps me take a deep breath, still my anxiety, and truly live for today. It has become abundantly clear that my concerns for the future have stolen the beauty of the moments happening in the now. With a man as brave as RFK Jr., willing to put his life on the line every day for my family, my quest to embody the best version of myself for my children might just be attainable. It is in this moment of realization that I made my decision to vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as my future president of these United States in 2024.